would like be visible, and I prefer to draw very light because watercolor is so transparent and it's better not to see the line, the pencil line. I will do it dark because I want it visible for everyone. But if you want to draw it, please not draw it dark. Please draw it so smooth and very light. So I start with this big one. First of all, I draw one circle to have an idea about the place of my flower and the size. I imagine this circle, this big one is the place of my flower, this one. And I draw another one on top, and this is another one, center, which is here. I draw a tiny circle. It's look like donut. And I place each petal, draw separately. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 petals it has. If I divide my lilium into half, three petals on the half of my circle like this. If I cut it into the half, these 3 place here, the other 3 on top, and a little bit more pressure. Between these 3 petals, a little bit empty space, and I can see the leaves under it, which is green. So I start to make a little bit gentle C curve here. They reach into bottom part together. So 1 circle, 2 circle. Exactly in front of this one, it's like not parallel, but it's in front. The same is this one. Nice curve, falls down. Another part is fall down like that. You can a little bit shape it, form it like. So between these 3, we have a lots of empty space, but the 3 parts on top, a little bit more pressure into each other, and it's look like big triangle shape. It's like that. It's like all these petals pressure into each other and make this big triangle. I don't want to make you confused, but I imagine this is a triangle shape. And I start with these 2 first. I will move with C curve on top. And then make it a little bit fat and then come here. Both inside and outside of my petal is a little bit narrow, and then the center is just a bit bigger. And I place this one too here with 1 C curve, a little bit pointy, come inside and then shape it like that. They both connect into each other. Look like this. One small and tiny petal is placed between these 2, and it shows that the other side of my petal is bending like that. So I cannot see the tip or the end of my petal because it shows that it's bent toward the other side. So I can see just here, this part. Let me erase this section of the circle. It's more visible. So I can see here. It shows that it's bent from this side. And that's enough. You can erase all the circle-y shape that you draw at the beginning. The other is facing toward down, and some of the petals are on the back of this one. So I cannot see this one, and I cannot see hold this petal. I just can see separately this 3 petal. So I divide my circle. It's look like that. The facing is toward down and a little bit toward right. So it's, if I cut it into half, it's like that. So I try to draw one line to cut the circle like this and have an idea about the place of each petal. This is the place of center here, center of my flower. And then I go with this boat, gentle C curve. I will go there and make it a little bit pointy. From this part, I will move inside and make a gentle C curve here. And now erase this curved line that I don't need it anymore. Same as this, happen on the other side. So I go with nice C curve, bring it down, make it pointy, comes up, and then make it fat, bring it near here. And then erase this line. You can use a little bit, not the curve, a little broken line like that to show this petal it's bending toward left side. Green color. For green, I will prefer to go with warm green. If you have hooker green, sap green, these are warm green color like that. I have cool green color. I mean, this is Viridian green. It has a blue inside and it's a little bit cool green color. So I prefer to go with warm green. I keep it aside, bring it my paint here, add the water to make it runny. This is runny. So it's good for bigger space. This is the mid-tone color. We can have dark tone and light tone. For light tone, same color I adding here. Clean my brush. I add yellow color into that. This is okay for the light color. So I make my green lighter by yellow. And then I would like to have another color which is a little bit darker. So I need less water. For watercolor, if you would like to make it dark, you need to use very less water. So again, back to this green. This time I use very less water. And I would like to make it darker. I go with dark blue that I have. It's ultramarine French blue, or even cobalt blue, or any dark blue color you have. It's good to go to make your green darker, but with less water. And if you see, it's moved toward cool green color. If you want to have a little bit warm, clean your brush, less water, just a bit brown, can make your green warm. So green, dark blue, and brown give you a dark green color. We keep them aside. For pink color, I prefer to go with permanent rose. I have this pink, which isn't so light, but I'm not sure you have that color or not. Any pink color you have, it's fine. Even alizarin crimson is dark pink color, which is so nice too. I will add a drop of water into that to make it lighter. Even permanent rose, both are okay. Keep it aside. We have ready all these 4 color. Clean my brush. Now what I would like to make my paper wet because I would like to go with wet on wet technique. So very gently wet the surface of your paper, but make sure around your flower, not to go inside your flower. Sometimes with 25% cotton paper, you need to cut your paper in half, work the top part, and then move the bottom part. Because when you work on the top, the bottom part, it gets dry. But for 100% cotton is not like that. Pink color. I adding my pink. This part is pink. So smooth and soft with bigger part of your brush and with the whole brush, not the tip. The tip, this line is for details. I go with whole my brush. Lay down your brush on the paper and move it everywhere. Like that. I don't let it dry. Clean my brush. Napkin always, it's helpful to have beside yourself to control the amount of water. And now you can start with light tone. Bring it close to your flower, not to move inside. And now you can use the tip. For this tiny part, you can use the tip to move your paint and bring it into your purple, into the, what's this, pink. And shape it as a leaf. Even with napkin, you can lift up some paint and make some creativity like that. Just pressure your napkin, not rub it, please. Just pressure. The paint absorbed by napkin and give you something like that. Nice result. All is making creativity. And then move on into the darker tone a little bit, shape as a leaf. Even a tiny bit dark we need to have. Near, when you near the flower, be gently and use the tip. Like that. Clean your brush. Move on into the light. We will focus on the other side of flower. And just move on here and fade it into the background. A little bit darker tone I would like to add. Don't worry if your leaves is not really dark. Even we can let it dry. If you are not happy with, add another darkness on top. Yellow a little bit. I add a little yellow ochre in my paint. Yellow ochre is warm yellow and dark yellow. So I add one movement stroke here. And did you see here my paint is, my paper is start to get dry. So I add watery brush here. Even here I add watery brush because I don't want to let my paper make the edge for me. I use whole my brush. Close to petals, shape the leaf. Just play with your brush like that. And then clean. Use yellow ochre if you want. I love yellow ochre more than move it like that on top. It's already lift up your paint when it's wet. Clean it with napkin. Back. Move your brush very gently. Shape it as a curve. Clean it with napkin. It's already wet. The surface is wet and can lift up. You can repeat it 2 or 3 times. And you lift up the paint. But it's happened when the paper is wet. When it's dry, it's another technique. So the top part is wet. The bottom part gets dry. So I finish with this one. I can move on and add another water on the bottom part. Even you can use napkin if you would like to have some edges a little bit lighter. I would like to make some texture here. With napkin, we can do lots of beautiful texture for our background. With the clean part, my background is wet, just touch it. You will see what happened. Lovely. Even here. It's absorbed and give us a smooth and nice background. Like that. I'm happy with it. The lighter background, it's okay for edges. Dark color, it's better to be close to flower. Or even we can lift up some paint as well, which is so interesting. I go with clean brush and narrow brush. The surface is wet. It's a good time to lift up some paint, and very gently I pass from here. Clean it by napkin. Without any water, your brush shouldn't have any water inside. Just draw brush and clean, lift up paint. Clean it by water, draw it by napkin. And then it depends. If with 2 times you're happy with, leave it like that. I continue with this section. Lift up something like this. Clean it by napkin. Same line. Very gently lift up to make my background interesting. Even I can go with some like that. Light and dark, always beautiful in painting. So with napkin, you can, because it's wet. When it's wet, some movement give us a nice result. When it's dry, nothing happens. When the surface is wet, you can do everything. You can lift up, you can clean with your hand, you can clean with your napkin. But when it's get dry, it's not easy to, I don't say it's not easy, we can do something, but it depends on the paper. Okay, I go with long as a leaf here, like that. And I add a little bit cobalt blue. With the tip of my brush, I try to add some tone here around the flower petals. I would like to show this leaf is fall down, for example, like this. I continue with this line. Imagine pass from here. This line pass here. For lift up, it's better 2 or 3 times we do that, because 1 time is not enough. The paint come and cover it when it's wet. But if you do it 2 times or 3 times, it's more. I would like to bring same color that we have. permanent rose, which is a lovely rosy color. Any rose color you are happy with, welcome to go with that. It's a little dark, so I need to add more water to make it light. This is my pink color, and I have orange as well. So I bring orange too. If you don't have orange color separately, you can mix red with yellow to have this orange. Clean your brush, just a bit watery pink color. Even if it's a lot watery, you can control it by napkin. Just touch the napkin. Your background should be completely dry. If it's not, please make it dry by hair dryer. We need to keep some part white. We don't add any white in our watercolor. We just keep it as a paper. So I go with both sides. I would like to have center light tone. Again, back to water, clean it. So light and smooth, add some tone around. I go with that fifth. Keep the white on center. I cover both sides for this petal. Start adding tone here. Center, I keep it light as the white of the paper, and then around like that. Even a little darker tone I would like to bring. Clean it by napkin. Move it like a line. And here too. This is the first wash, which is a lighter one. If you want to make it lighter, again, back to the water and control the amount of paint on your brush by adding the water and control it by napkin. It's too much light, you see here? Water, control it. Because if you bring a lots of watery color here, I don't want to dilute my petals into the water. So I control it always with napkin. I have always beside myself in my hand. For the dark tone, we need to add no water or very less. And then we go for the details by smaller pointy brush. So I go with this one, same color. I go with permanent rose or alizarin crimson, both are so close. I go with that, and I go with orange as well. But this time I use less water on my brush and more pigment. Again, always I have napkin on my hand, always. So I go with alizarin, permanent rose. Control the amount of water like this. And then I start from here. First of all, I go with whole brush. It's one layer actually, it's darker than the first layer. And I can go with tip of my brush to add some line as a details. Not everywhere, I don't want to make busy my petals. Just add some like that. And you see, it's not really dark and it's not really light. It's one layer darker than the first layer. So still we need to have a little bit water in our brush. And then one movement of here. Some line at here. And again, some line here to shape it like that. Control it again here. I can add a little orange on this part as a line. Still we have the tiny bit water. And we go with the tip. to add some details as a line on top of our petals. And now for this part. Separate it as a line. And this here, just a bit here. I don't want to make it busy because the center will come on this part and it's already busier than the other petals. So I keep it like that. Make sure not make it really busy with the line. It's not really liney, just some to have a little darkness in some of the part of petal would be enough. And then we will go by really dark details on top. So I go with pure paint with very, very less water. Even like that, this is so much dark. Control it with napkin, and I use the tip of my brush to make these details and just circular shape like that. I will add on top randomly and not really much on top, more close to the center I will add. Even I can add a little purple to make it more powerful and more dark. You can make some heavier or smaller. Purple, it's interesting. Mix your purple with rose or permanent rose. Control it by napkin to reduce the amount of water. We need to keep this. After we add the green part, we have some movement like that. It's more bigger and heavier. It depends where place. I spread like this here for this one, and I spread some for the other flower. It's just thicker and more visible to show the center of my petals. Like that. Clean your brush, pointy brush, and move on to the green part. It's okay to have darker green, but make sure to draw some line to the center of your flower and then reach this red part of the detail that you have on top, like that. Even from here, we move on to the center of my flower. Some is a little thicker, some no. But I will go with not much light green. It's better to be dark. A little bit. I go with ultramarine blue, green, and brown. It's really dark now. And my background is dry. Just a tiny bit darkness. I bring it here. Leave it like that. More bluey. Even I can have just one or two movement, not everywhere. Even if you would like to get rid of the edges, clean your brush. Just touch the edges. It disappears into the background. Just one time, not more than that.